Hey everybody, it's Mark Ruggiero, Clark Commando 1983. Got a little bit of fun stuff out here tonight. This is going to be my video for the my Third Reich After Action Learn How to Play. But you got to get yourself a Godzilla model for your wargaming table, right? You got to love it. Sorry. Just sharing. Always try to make things fun, and look forward to doing this. I don't know if I'll actually use it. I might knock over more counters, but I bought one of these pointers where I can point stuff out. I'll try to make some adjustments with my phone. As you guys know, I do these videos because I love wargaming, love you guys, and it's not ideal. I'm not going to invest in the camera, whatnot. I think that my phone works fine. And we're here to all have fun, right? So the only thing I'm not going to do, so we're getting ready to start the winter turn. The last video ended with the Axis turn. And let's see if I can point out what I did. And as noted before, this is 4th edition Third Reich. I currently have another mint copy for sale if anybody's interested over on Facebook, asking $55, but it's in perfect condition. But anyways, that being said, sorry, it's not a sales channel. Any rules mistakes, etc. are mine. Please feel free to comment in the section to correct me. If you do that, I appreciate rules references. Haven't played this game since high school. Play a lot of GMT World at War. My purpose here is not to compare that. But the British, let's see, I'm going to have to move my camera on a little bit so I won't knock stuff out. Basically, Italy was defended enough, or really didn't have stuff positioned. They could have maybe pulled off a double turn, but I didn't see really how they would conquer Italy or do anything dramatic. So I just built up some fleets and transported, because anticipation of with the Axis variant of, let's try to zoom in a little bit here. I think that's good. Anticipating that Italy's probably going to declare war and do an attrition with the extra BRPs. We're going to be able to do a naval transport mission, may get intercepted, but should be able to land in Tobruk and move up for the attrition. And that the Brits did is reinforced, cost them 4 strategic redeployments because it's double going around the Horn of South Africa. And I did an armor unit and then spent another SR to move the 4 or 5 armor here. I left the 3, 4 here. Maybe it's a little paranoia from World at War, but partisans, I need to get maybe another 1, 3 or a replacement or something down there. And like I said, maybe I didn't need to do that, but maybe my 3, 4 should be up here. My play is not going to be ideal. I'm just doing this for fun and instructional purposes. So as far as BRPs, I did track them on the, just because on the, scenario cards, where they're at currently. Not very good focus, is it? Sorry about that. And I'm also, as suggested in the rule book, let me zoom back out here. See if I can, wrong way. All right. So, as suggested in the rule book, keeping a written record also. So not that hard to do. But yeah, the Allies, basically reinforced in France. Get some positions. I think, I'm not a big fan of it, if I remember, even in World at War, sending a BEF, but I'm going to go ahead and send one. I'm going to do the Allied turn. This video will pretty much cover the winter Axis turn. So let's go to the sequence of play. I'll try to explain things as I go. I'm having a great time doing this for you guys that are following. And don't forget your geeky gaming supplies. And see my video on the die roller you can get for about 14 bucks from Amazon. I love it. I actually bought 2 of them. I think they're great. I don't know, just some more geeky fun, right? So gotta love the hobby. All right, so anyways, we're gonna start off with, you do the BRP comparison. And the Axis definitely have, excuse me, let's see here, make sure, BRP level calculation. That's in the year start sequence. All right, so we start off with the sequence of play. First player's turn. So before that, you determine the player turn, and just as a reminder, you add up the Axis. Even if Italy's neutral, they count towards Germany. How many BRPs they have total. Then you can add Britain and France. Russia's not added because they're not in the war, whereas the most BRPs could go, so you theoretically can get a double turn, right? Which they eliminated in GMT's World at War, if you're interested in that game, which I highly recommend. It's definitely a big commitment, and there's some great videos on the website how to play. A lot of resources out there, super playable, and I'm a huge fan of strategic World War II games, period. I have basically, I don't know about every title that's out there, but I have a lot of them, and I've played World in Flames. Anyways, I digress. Sorry about that, guys. So the Axis, I think my thoughts this turn are, I got my 20 factors on the Eastern Front. You can see Russia and their turn. You can see it. Yeah, I don't know, the ideal is not there. But Russia and their turn, part of Eastern Europe, pick 10 BRPs. They got to take all the cities in the Baltic states. They did that. They seized Bessarabia. That's part of that. And of course, moved up to the Nazi-Soviet pact line. Germans need to keep 20 factors of units. So they got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 on the Eastern Front, or Russia can declare war. We don't want to deal with that right now. We've got the built up battalions ready to rock and roll. See what happens there. Going to pretty much stay defensive here. Don't really see opportunity for an attack. Get some units over here. Get some air here down in North Africa that I'll stage here and place an air base. You can't see what I'm pointing at, sorry. Gosh darn it. Oh, you can. Okay, you can a little bit. Sorry about this, guys. Not ideal, but, you know. Anyways, and then I think we're going to look at, see what we can afford. I think we'll want to declare war on Denmark. Maybe take them out. So it'll be 10 BRPs. Remember, declare war on a minor countries, 10 BRPs. And we'll see if we could pull off maybe the Netherlands. Now, one thing that's interesting, rules stayed consistent. On the turn when you declare war, the closest major power sets them up. They're got to have at least one unit in their capital. Any of the other units have to set up in their home country. For some reason, you don't have room, which I've never run into, where you couldn't set up all the units. It's in the version 4 rulebook available on Board Game Geek. Per the Q&A on there, any units that couldn't set up would just be eliminated. So it gives an example in there of like Hungary, where the Germans have armor and 5 air factors. And if you look in Hungary, there's no other air bases, so they wouldn't be able to place their air unit. Anyways, what I was going to bring up is on the turn of declaration of war, the only way for a major power to interfere with the declaring power's invasion is through naval interception. So they can't lend, ground support, any stuff like that on the initial attack. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So first player turn, So we don't have any variants to play. I already played the Axis variant, which was less royalist opposition to Mussolini. They got 50 more BRPs and some extra units, which would come in handy. So we go to declarations of war. So let's look at what Denmark gets for forces here. They get, where are they at here? So on the map, right here, I'm pointing with my pencil, is minor country forces. And we got Denmark, it's a 1-3 and a 1-4 air unit. So we'll set that up. And that cost Germany 10 BRPs to declare war. And oh my goodness, I didn't clip these counters. Well, we'll do that later. All right. So they're going to set up in Copenhagen. And then let's see here, because we do want to be able to build up some units so in the spring we can attack. And our spending limit for Germany is 75, so that's 10. And let's see here. Yeah, should we go for the Netherlands also? I think we will. So it's another 10. And the Netherlands gets 2-3 and one air factor. So everything in the rules use the, of course, the neutral markers. For some reason, you have too many on the board, can't, don't have enough. You can use Turkish and Spanish units because they're not in the game in 39. Otherwise, it shouldn't be an issue. If it is, though, that's how you solve it per the rules. So let's subtract from Germany. We're going to subtract 20 BRPs for the 2 declarations of war and 15 BRPs because it's going to take an offensive option. So that's 35 of their BRPs. Yikes. All together on construction. So that's only going to leave them 15 to spend in the construction. Ouch. But they are now down to 40 BRPs because they had 70 left. So make a note of that in my notebook. I'm going to adjust it here, just like you would if you were playing some face-to-face on the scenario card. Italy is, I'm going to go ahead and declare war on, their spending limit's only 50, so they're going to declare war on oh my goodness, on England with the Allies. So that costs 35 BRPs. So that leaves them with 35 and leaves them with 15 to spend. And I think in the, we're going to have to take an offensive option because I want to be able to navally transport the, up here in Taranto, I have 225 armor units. And I want to be able to navally transport. So we're going to get to do an example of interception. Hopefully I get that right. But we'll subtract another 15. So that's 40, 50. So that's going to leave them nothing for builds. FYI. So, and they're down to 20 BRPs left. Okay. So, got an offensive option in the Med, one on the Western Front. Did our declarations of war, went over the cost of that. Placed the newly attacked minor countries. What's really nice, if you print out the rule book, it has rules references as you go. One thing, it might have been my error of printing, I'm not sure. But it is nice. I'll point out once again, it has an index. Very small print though. I don't know if that was my fault when I had it printed out. I actually sent this to a local office supply store to have it professionally spiral bound and stuff. So, and what I like about it is charts are in here. There's all kinds of goodies in this in this 4th edition rule book, which, like I said, is available on Board Game Geek. So, anywho, all right. So let's keep going. We keep moving along here. Hopefully I don't blow things too much. So we did option selection. So if there were any other miners that were still in the war, they would do their own independent turn. If Allied major power hadn't intervened yet, which will if they survive, they, you can put them under control of a major power. So, and there are some rules for intervention, which are, let's see here, because the rules reference 12.16 and 12.262. Then you can do voluntary destruction of units, which I've never really run into a case where you would do it, but I believe basically you can voluntarily destroy them, and then you're not able to rebuild them in the current turn that you do that. But, maybe you get some not isolated, but I actually don't know when you would do that. But anyways, it's there. So then we'll do the movement phase. First thing is movement of fleets. Do you want to change any bases? Germany, their fleets in Kiel, which by the way is a 2-front port, can operate, let me use my pointer, in the Baltic, and then of course they can go through the North Sea because it's a 2-front port. So is there's another one. Oh, Gibraltar over here. So there are some rules around that, but we're not going to do any change bases. You could do interception attempts at that point. Designate supply fleets. Everybody's in supply because Tripoli and, oh my God, maybe it's I believe Tobruk are a supply source, but I know for sure Tripoli is. I could look it up, but I don't want to waste your time. Excuse me. All right. So, movement of air and ground units. We're going to take care of that. And let's see. Okay. So that's where we're at. We're going to do some ground unit movement. Now note, in the combat phase is actually when these units in Taranto will get moved. So let's go ahead and get some movement done here. And we can do rebase our air up to 8 hexes. This guy got bumped a little bit. So let's see what we got here. We got 2 air units here. And we're going to move 1, 2. Each hex is 1 movement point. So you got an armor and infantry. Maybe we'll just do 2 infantry. Let's just do 2 infantry for the attack. 2 infantry for the attack. 1, 2, 3. On Copenhagen, they're going to be tripled. So we are going to need some air support there. But we'll get to that in just a minute. We're going to actually counter air that 1 factor. And then we'll do some ground support. Before we do that, let's see what our odds are. So we're going to go up here in the Netherlands, and I know there's a little piece here. So I think this hex here, just to the southeast of The Hague, is the capital of the Netherlands, is legal, I believe. So we'll go ahead and move the armor up to here. There's no ZOC, right? Only armor has a ZOC, and it's a +2 movement points to exit a ZOC. But infantry doesn't have a ZOC. And we'll go 1, we'll go 7. Hex is going to defend with 2 by the time we're done with it. So let's see, 7, 10, 13. That'll be a 4-1. Right, let's see. Sorry, 7, 10, 13 against 2 is a 6-1. Get your math right. Chemo brain. So we're going to move an infantry unit. 1, 2, 3. And 1, nope, that won't make it. How about back here? So we'll go ahead and move armor. And we'll actually have 4. We're going to go ahead and shuffle a little bit here because remember the Germans are only going to get to spend 35 for nothing for builds. So maybe a big mistake. I'm not sure. That means they won't be able to really attack France till the summer, which could be a problem. But like I said, we're not having any ideal play. So then down here in Italy, we want to be able to position ourselves a little bit, I think, for the attack that's going to happen on this 2-5. Could have one armor unit there. And do one there, because we want, remember, for exploiting armor, you could have one armor in the attack. These units in the combat phase, assuming they don't get turned back, will be able to make it to Tobruk. It will cost 1 to debark, and then go 2, 3. That's going to give us a, let's see if I figured this right, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, so a little air combat. So we're going to need to place a, let's see here. You can stage your air at the 8 hexes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Need an air base for them. So that's going to be right there. And that looks like about it for the Italians. Maybe we got Rome occupied. It's a little bit overkill, isn't it? Let's see here. March these guys up north. I don't really see a threat to Rome. I guess they could be missing something. But question is, so send them towards Yugoslavia. Got my air units can 1, 2, 3, 4s in range for defensive air support in case French want to get a little frisky. Probably want to set up something maybe to try to invade Yugoslavia later with the Italians. Possibly Greece, but for right now, that's it. All right. So yeah, I think we'll just leave it like that. We can use strategic redeployment if we feel like we need to move that later in the turn. Okay, so we did the movement of ground and air units. Eliminate any overstacked. There's no attrition combat. So now we announce our naval and air missions. So we are going to need some change. We're going to need to see, remember you're limited to the counter mix. So let's see what's in the, so we got 4. We get a 4 available? We don't. And that really sucks. One thing I'm not really used to is the management of the breakdown of air units. So if they're not available in the counter mix, oh, here's some over here. Okay. So I do have, let's see, I have breakdown, let's see. And what I want to do is I want to be able to break down the, oh yeah, let me, oh, my bad. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Go up here to Bremen. Move that guy there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know that I want to use my air bases yet. Might expose the Germans to some counter air action. This might not be good. I know, we'll use this factory. We'll go up here. And this guy here is 5, 4. Yeah, I think we got plenty of air up there. Maybe move to here so he's in range of our line here for any defensive air support later. I'm sorry, I hope you guys can hear me. I guess I'm mumbling. My bad. Okay. You do want to break down, we're going to have to break down one for the Netherlands. So you are limited to the counter mix. I just noticed there's no 4 factors. So we're going to use a 3 and 2 1 factors to break down our air in Bremen. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fly counter air. 1, 2, 3. Counter air that guy. This guy here will go up here and counter air the Danish. So that's my air. Let's see. We have to announce all the air missions. Let me look here. Announces all naval and air missions. Yes. So we're going to do counter air first. And we resolve counter air. Looks like we need to allocate offensive air support. I'm not going to allocate any here because I already have an attack of 7, 13 that this will defend at 2 once I get rid of the air, hopefully. And that's enough for a 6 to 1. This guy is going to be tripled. So I have, because of the straits, there's a straight crossing arrow here. So it's going to be 6 to 3. So after the counter air, we're going to go ahead and commit, well, you could do up to 3 times. We're going to commit 6 air factors to offensive ground support. And we got counter airs going on. So let's resolve the counter air. So get our handy die roller here. We're going to get a red die for the axis and a, let's see if I, oops, bumped the table. Let's see if I can get this in the picture so you can see it in action. All right. So the red die will represent the axis die roll. And the, excuse me, the white die will represent the air for the neutrals. So air-to-air combat, both sides roll a die. Die roll is subject to modification as follows. Larger side gets +1. Neither side's going to be larger because I'm doing it with equal. And there are modifiers. It's on the back of the United States card. And on the back of the French card, there's one also because eventually U.S. will be in the war. And theoretically, France will get knocked out, which hopefully I'm confident enough to do when we get there. But the minor allies have a -2, so it's a simple die roll. And so here we go. -2 to the allied roll, and no modifier to the German roll. And that is not good. So that is, oh boy, that's a rough roll. This is for Denmark. So -2, the allies get a 3. And the Germans get a 1. Oh boy. Let's see here. Nationality modifiers. So the German is definitely wiped out. Wow. That was not good. Okay, so expensive. And it's 1 factor. And the Danish unit doesn't suffer a loss, but it is flipped. So this 1 factor is going to go back to the force pool. This guy gets flipped because he fought counter air. And then we're going to do the Netherlands. 10 modifiers. All right, so there again. Okay, so this time the neutral is eliminated. German flies back to base, where I don't know that it necessarily has to come where it came from, but I am going to do that. And one thing I am going to look up really quick is if there are any losses to the other side. I don't believe so. I think if it was 2, the other side takes half or something, but let's look here. So 28.432. Excuse me. We'll see. Hopefully this video doesn't take a week to upload like my last one. It literally took 2 days to upload my last video I did. Let's see, employment, air combat. Yeah, so the winner would eliminate, but it's rounded down, half as many as the other side lost. So obviously one rounded down is 0. So kind of expensive. Germans lost an air factor. That's what it's all about. Okay, so I did the counter air. And the other naval missions, I'm going to do a transport. So basically, I'm going to transport these 225 armor units down in Taranto. So what has to happen is I'm going to take all 4 fleets because I want to make sure that we get there. And it's kind of like going to leave Italy without naval for the when the British go. I want to try to make sure they get to where they're going. Now, I believe you can still intercept with air at sea. I guess I should have reviewed the rules. So I want to avoid 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're just going to come straight down here to Tobruk. Now, if the interception, we're going to go look at the rules for that. If the British want to intercept, they pick a hex. And they obviously want to stay outside the air range, I believe, of the air because they can't intercept at sea. So I guess I could have staged. That's a good point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. No, there'll still be 1 hex here outside air cover. I was thinking maybe I should have staged this guy down here to southern Italy. So it looks like, let's go look at the interception rules as a refresher. Excuse me. Oh boy. 29.4. Let's go look at that. 29.45. 29 basing. Interception. All right, well, let's look up the rules reference then. In the index. Intercepting naval. Looks like pretty small print. Looks like 29.5. And we're going to go look at that. It's a pretty important concept, and I don't have it memorized. I know how it works in World at War, but there are some differences. So, let's see here. Fleets carrying supply for sea escort or SR may not be intercepted. Very interesting. Those can all be intercepted in a world at war. So when the defender wishes to intercept, he must indicate the exact course of hex taken by his movement. Then the defender chooses a hex at which he will intercept. He may choose the hex where attackers' fleets are based. I'm not going to do that. Naval interception may be attempted at only one point along a given fleet's path. Although defenders' air units may also attack the fleet at one or more other points. Now we're avoiding all that. So, any unit at a given base must attempt to intercept against the same target. Gives an example. If you had, say, 4 fleets in Gibraltar and 2 different missions for the Axis, the fleets in Gibraltar can only pick one of them to intercept. Okay. What's the procedure here? Let's see. You can have counter interceptions, counter interceptions. Let's see here. So count the hexes along your chosen route from the naval base. Let's see, I want to see if you can intercept with more than one base. Oh boy. It looks like it. So let's just try it. I'm not saying this is smart. So there is an interception table here on the map. And it's right here. You probably can't read it. What you do is you're going to count the hexes. So now the Italians have a pretty bad naval modifier, but they do have 4 fleets. So I don't know that 4 to 1 is good odds. I'm going to try to intercept. And there's 1 hex, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we declared, the attacker has to declare the mission, so it's a straight line. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the British try to intercept in this hex here. I'm going to mark that with a die. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This hex right here, I'm going to mark that with a die. So we have 2 fleets in Gibraltar that will try to intercept, and the fleet from Port Said. Oh boy, do I want to do that? Yeah, because I can change base later. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22 hexes from Gibraltar. So it's a 50-50 shot. We'll use the red die for the red die. Is that in the view? Let's see. The red die for the interception from Gibraltar. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we gotta go outside the orange. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're gonna have to go up around Crete. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 hexes. This would be a 1, 2, 3, or 4. So that will be the white die will be the fleet that's in Port Said. So here we go. 1, 2, or 3 on the red die and 4 or less. So Gibraltar fails. The 1 British fleet succeeds. So the question is, do they have to intercept? Let's see. Attacker then announces any counter interception. No. Or if they fail, they're not considered a foreign mission, so the fleets in Gibraltar are still usable. Combats or resolves. All right, well, it looks like we're going to have combat, so let's go see how that works. This might be ugly. Britain has a +1. Italy's going to have a -2. Let's see here. Naval combat. Both sides roll a die to resolve naval combat, with the side rolling the higher number being the winner. Ties are won by the intercepting force. Each side's naval combat die roll is subject to modification due to nationality and size. Oh boy, this could be ugly. I don't, if anybody knows the answer, I'm not sure. Once you roll, and I did a quick kind of glance through, I don't see where it says, oh, I succeeded, but now I don't want to do it. So, the larger size force in any naval combat is always entitled to a favorable die roll if it has at least a third more naval factors than its opponent. The amount of the DRM is determined by the naval advantage chart. So a naval advantage chart is, it's 4-1, ouch, this is going to be ugly. And I can correct it if somebody knows the rule on this and corrects me. But looks like Italians are going to get a +5. They're going to -2. They're going to be +3. And the Brits do get a +1. So, all right, let's roll the dice. So we'll do the red die will be the Italians, white die will be the Allies. Italians are going to be modified by +3 is +5 to -2 for the nationality. And the white die will be modified by +1. And just to be clear, it's these 4 fleets trying to move these 2 armor units to Tobruk. And so we get a tie die roll. So the red die modified to 7, to 5. All right, so it looks like the Brits are going to lose 2 factors. And I believe the Italians are going to lose 1. Let's see, losses of naval between the 2 sides. Wow. So if you have more than 18 factors in the losing side, your losses are multiplied by the number of 9-factor fleets. You don't have to worry about that here. And then you eliminate half rounded down for the winner. And if they're mixed national, they have to be distributed equally. Loser battle must immediately return to port. That's the British, so we need to get a couple counters out here. We need to make some change. Here we go. All right, so we're going to need a 8-factor British counter, because that's what's going to get returned to Port Said. And remember, you cannot rebuild fractional naval counters. Let's clip these really quick. And actually, I lied. They need a 7-factor fleet. And there are no 7s. So I guess I get a 6 and a 1. All right. Because you are limited to the counter mix. So they're going to get a 6 and a 1. And then we're going to put 2 factors in the force pool. Cannot rebuild fleets till they get to 9 factors, unlike your air. But that being said, they also take a year. So whenever they get to 9, then you rebuild them, you place them a year out, and that's when they come back into the game. So doing a quick clipping here of the counters. That's who I am. I'm a counter clipper. I am. So that's okay. I use one of these handy dandy. I believe it's 2. It's oh my God, I'm drawing a blank off the top of my head. A lot of people use these. You can use nail clippers, but for my OCD, I use this because it makes nice, even clips. So we're going to return 6 factors to port SAID, which means now theoretically that could be invaded because it's not defended. I'm going to put these extra ones that I clipped up here. And the Italians, they're going to lose 1 factor, so they're going to get an 8 back. And it's first blood for the game, for the naval. Hopefully I did it correctly, like I said. If people know the rules better, please comment, but please give me a rules reference. That's always super helpful. I would appreciate it. And let's clip these really quick. And we're going to put the 1 factor they lost, goes in the force pool. And not to beat a dead horse, but you can't rebuild the fleet till you get to 9 factors. And they take a year. So, that being said, now we're going to finish the mission. Alright. So, take this can come off here. We don't need that to market. 9 factor fleet. I'm going to set that off to the side. So the rest of the fleet comes down. We're going to unload the 225 armor units here in just a second. Put these up here. All right. So let's see. We're going to have 4 defending. And we're going to be able to attack with, I want some exploiting armor if I do this attack right. So let's see. Well, shoot, maybe not going to be ideal. 2, so it's going to defend at 4, assuming we don't have to deal with the air. If I attack with this, it would be 2, 4, that'd be a 1-to-1. I want 2 exploiting armor units. Do I really want that? Because if I have 2 exploiting, I'll be able to break through and go to here, 3, which would cut this guy out of supply. So right now, currently it's a 1-to-1, but I'm going to make some change with this 5-4 factor air unit. I put the ones that I'm breaking down off to the side. Sure, Italy's pretty limited. Oh boy, they're limited to the counter mix. They're very limited. All right, we got a 2 factor here. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, it looks like we'll have just enough to break it down to 2 4s. Like I said, you're limited to the counter mix. So 2 4s and a 1 factor. And I'm going to clip these really quick. I set the 5-4 off to the side. I clip these really quick here. And hopefully you're still with me. Hopefully you're enjoying the video. I'm having a great time doing this. I wish I had the energy to do more. But as my energy allows, I like giving to the community as much as I can. And, you know, obviously I just have a real passion for wargaming. Appreciate all the support that everybody's been giving me. And my wife, because we're both fighting cancer, as you know. But looking forward to the end of July 2023. We get a CAT scan, see what next steps are. And knock on wood, hopefully I will be able to get my Whipple surgery. That's the next step for pancreatic cancer. All right, so we're going to fly. What are we going to do here? So we got 5. The reason I broke it down, and this is going to be a really risky attack, isn't it? Oh boy, you know, I'm a gambler, so I'm going to fly 4 factors of ground support. got an air factor held back to intercept on this guy because he's going to come in and fly defensive air support. And we're going to do interception. Now it's going to be a die roll again. So Italy's -1. Britain has no modifier. Once again, red dice will be the Italians. White die will be the Allies. And, oh boy, that is just ugly. All right, well, this guy, I think I got to look back, flies back to base. I got to, oh my God, there's 2 air factors there. Holy crap. All right. Oh boy, we're in trouble here. So what I need to do is find out. Yeah, this is not a good idea. Anyway, well, we'll see what happens. I'm a gambler. We're going to roll. So this goes back to Taranto. And that's my... The naval transport, by the way, yeah, you go... You debark, cost the land units 1 movement point, then they get to move. The Italian fleet's going to go over here on the force pool off to the side, the 9 factor. I placed the 1 factor they lost in the force pool. All right, so what we need to do, I need to look up the air as a reminder, because what I don't know is the Italians lost the air combat. Does the factors they fought on the British side go back to base? I don't know the answer to that. So let's see in the index where we can find that out. Let's see here. Air. Yeah, appreciate your guys' patience. Air warfare, 28. All right, well, let's see if it's in 28. Under air warfare, that would make sense, right? Okay, so 28. Deployment, counter air, we've gone over the interception, so we did that. Interceptions must take place in the hex where the defender is placed as defensive air support. Attacker may intercept with a force of any size. Doesn't have to be equal. If the defender has a larger force in combat and wins, the survivors may continue their mission. So that answers the question. Oh boy, Italians are in deep shit here. All right, well, let's see if we can get lucky. So I'm going to go ahead a little bit out of sequence. I'm going to count them, but I'm going to return the air to their base. So there's 2 factors of British, 4 factors of Italians. What did I do? I flew this 1 factor they lost. That thing goes in the force pool. So this goes back to the air base. I believe it has to go to the one it came from. Not sure on that. So basically we have Italians are attacking with 2. Now we're going to resolve the combat. 2, 4, 5, 9. The British are defending with 6. That's a 1-1. Let's put our handy dandy Avalon hill dice back in the mechanical die roller. I love this thing. All right, it's a 1-1 attack. Let's see if the Italians can get lucky. And roll the dice. And they get a 4. All right. Oh boy, that's going to be not good. Exchange. So, smaller forces eliminated. So the Brits are going to lose actually the 2 factor armor for 4. And so 6 factors. Oh boy, this can be expensive. But this actually might work out. Let's see. So the British lost the smaller force, and now the Italians, full exchange, have to eliminate an equal amount. So I'm going to eliminate, and this is painful, I'm going to eliminate, let's see, the 2 armor units for 4, and 2 air factors for 6. So that's equal losses. Those are all going to get placed in their respective force pools. And we'll take care of that later. What that does allow is your armor doesn't have to survive. This will be the breakthrough hex, and this will be the 2 exploiting units. And this is not going to be pretty at all. So, that being said, we'll go ahead and do let's just do it in sequence here. So that's the breakthrough hex. We've got 2 armor units on there. Pretty expensive. Like I said, not ideal play. But hey, I'm having a great time. And I hope you're enjoying watching this. See where we're at time-wise. Okay, well, hopefully I can finish the turn in about 10 more minutes. All right. So up here in Denmark, we have 7, 8, whoops, plus 6, so 13. Oh, wait, no, 6 plus 6 is 12. They're tripled. Oh my goodness. Come on, Mark. So that'll be a 3-to-1. And we'll fly these guys. Where did these guys come from? I forgot. Oh yeah, 1 factor came from, no, that was the counter here. 3, 4. No, I can't remember what base they came from. So they may get to return wherever they want. So we'll return the 1 factor to Bremen. Oh, the 5 factors come from Berlin. I don't remember. Shit. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll put them back in Berlin. All right. No air here. So the odds in the Netherlands will be 7, 10, 13, no, 14, 4. So that's a 3-to-1. And that's because there is a spit of land here, so I do believe this is legal. So we've got, what did I say, 7. So 4-to-1 in Denmark. Let's roll that. Got a 3. So that's the defender eliminated. So the Danish are gone. And Germany marches triumphantly in Copenhagen. And then here we have a 3-to-1. Okay, so 3-to-1. Counterattack at 1-to-3. And 1-to-3, they got a 5. Oh, okay, they wanted to roll low, not high. So attackers eliminated. In this case, they're counterattacking. So the Netherlands is eliminated. And the Germans triumphantly march into the Hague. All right. Well, at least that worked out. Let's do this. So combat is done. No, it's not done. So we're going to go down here to Africa and exploit. So what I'm going to do is I want to make sure, now this is going to cut this guy out of supply. I'm going to go move to here, that's 3. So I project the Zoc here. And they're going to be eligible for attacks, which I don't, oh boy. Quadra depression. And remember, exploiting units are in supply for the turn following. So that being said, I'm going to take that guy there. This quadra depression, I believe, can't move in there, trace supply. So if I go here, they'll place them out of supply. But it won't really matter if unless somehow these guys get killed. So if I stack those there, it should be okay. I don't really care if the British attack this lone 1-3. All right, so that's the combat phase. And hopefully I did everything correctly. Like I said, if not, please correct me in the notes, which will be helpful in future terms to correct me. Let's go back and please provide rules references if you do. All right, so we did the whole combat phase. Unit construction is going to be pretty easy because the Germans have no BRPs available because they've already reached their spending limit. Italy is in the same boat. So unit construction is done. Okay, that was easy, right? Then we go to strategic redeployments. Now, I haven't been able to find any restriction on strategically redeploying inverted units. So I'm going to redeploy the surviving 2 factors of air to Tobruk. I already used all the fleets here. I'm going to strategically redeploy, I think we'll do any builds, but both of the Italian infantry in Rome to Taranto. I think the Germans, well, let's see, the Germans can use a strategic redeployment, some of their infantry. I'll go up to the border here, and there, got armor there, pretty thin. May have played this wrong. Let me get this armor unit here. Stick him up here. And I think that's it for strategic redeployment. Okay, so no BRPs available for foreign aid, no BRPs available. What else is there? Yeah, foreign aid or intelligence roles to find out what the Allied variant is. So that being said, I'm going to end it here. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, please like my page, subscribe. Sorry about the mumbling. Cancer is just really messing with me. But I'm trying to do my best. Hopefully you guys get something out of this and enjoy it. Have a great evening. And today's Saturday, April 8th. July 8th, 2023. We'll see how long it takes this video to upload. So, all right. Take care. Talk soon. Bye.